Reading from the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, Book 1. Book 1, Chapter 5, Text 53. No, 54. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sva-jīvanādhika-prārthya. śrī-viṣṇu-jana-saṅgateḥ. vicchedena kṣaṇaṁ cātra sukhāṁśaṁ labhāmahe. The company of those devotees of Śrī-viṣṇu is more desirable to us than life itself. Deprived of that association, we can no longer find any happiness. Om Jnana-timirandasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Śrī-chaitanya-manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Pancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So greetings from Govardhan Hill. Right now I'm actually facing the hill. And I try to get that Sanga every day by walking around half. I go the Govinda side, Govinda Kund side mostly. And, and that's how bhakti works. Bhakti really is an energy, or should say prema is an energy between two people in relationship. And I think two things are required for that energy to be released. An understanding of our relationship with that person, and a focus of concentration on the object of that relationship. So whether we go before the deities, whether we chant the holy name, whether we go around Govardhan, it's that cognizance of our sambandha, our relationship, and our meditation on that allows us to feel bhakti, which is that energy between us and God. So obviously, Govardhan is a real good place to get that, and especially get the association. My good friend, Radhacharan, is staying next door. I'm really trying to keep those apartments really nice, and the devotees who stay really feel enlivened. And Radhacharan preaches in China. And he doesn't have much personal association. So he relishes coming here. And he comes here for the association. And he was in Mayapur, then here. And he said somehow only a few days did he really get the Sangha he wants. But you can drown in a drop of Sangha. You can be filled in heart with a drop of that Sangha. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Hoy, labhāmatra, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Labhāmatra is a fraction of a second. Labhāmatra, Sadhu Sangha. That's Sarva Siddhi, you all perfection comes. We want bhakti, and bhakti is in the hearts of those who have them, who have bhakti. And the conduit to that heart that allows that heart to touch ours is our loving exchanges with those people. Dadati pratagrinati, giving gifts, accepting gifts. Guyam ayachi pritchati, inquiring in confidence, explaining it. Bhumte bhojita, changing pasada, giving pasada, accepting pasada. Which is why I really like being here. I love serving the devotees who come. It really inspires me. Raghunath and Mara were just here for a week. Every day going out and sitting for hours at different places, chanting and reading, and meeting the different Bṛhad-bhāsis and taking prasadam in different people's homes. And Rasika Govinda and Mallory are back, and she went through a long, arduous treatment. It seems to have some relief. I was really happy to see her. And that's what this verse is talking about. Sva-jīvana, our own lives, adhika, more, prārthya, desirable. śrī-viṣṇu-jana, the jana of Vishnu, the people of Vishnu. Sangita, the Sanga of the Vishnu jana, is more desirable than our own lives, stressing how important it is. There are 5 most potent items of devotional service, but they all require, one of them is sadhu sangha, but they all require sadhu sangha. Chanting the holy name requires sadhu sangha. Hearing the Bhagavatam requires sadhu sangha. Going to a holy place requires sadhu sangha. So real life, madgata prana, real life is the soul. And devotees awaken, uncover within us the nature of the soul. That's real life. And this is what gives life. And this is what the greatest fortune in life is to have sadhu sangha. And the greatest misfortune, and it's mentioned in Ramananda Samvad, what is the greatest pain? It's separation from the devotee. We feel the loss of a loved one because of what they add to our life. And when they're gone, there's like a hole in our life. But no one could add to our life more than śrī-viṣṇu-jana Śrī-viṣṇu-jana-saṅgateḥ, śrī-viṣṇu-jana-saṅgateḥ, the association of the people of Vishnu, the people of God. So this is the Yudhisthira responding to Narada's praise that they're the most fortunate devotees. And he says, what is my fortune? I just fought a war where in that war, Drona Bhishmari Guravo Bhimanyu Pramukta Shruta Pare Bhava Santa Asmat Hetu Niranam. So they Hetu Asmat, the cause of Nidanam, their Nidanam Gata, of meeting their demise. We're the cause of meeting their demise in this war. Of who? Drona and Bhishma and Gurava and other gurus, other venerable teachers. And Abhimanyu, Pramukha, the sons headed by Abhimanyu, and Pare and others also. Bhava, many, and Bhava Santa, many saintly persons, because of our account. And vicchedena, shana, deprivation, shana, a moment of their deprivation. A moment of their deprivation, of missing them, a moment. Then labhāmahe, we can find na sukha amsa, a little bit of happiness. Without their association, we cannot find a little bit of happiness. And when I reflect on what Yudhisthira is saying in the greater picture of it, it's just the humility of a devotee, the character of a devotee. Is to think he not has devotion and to reflect rather than on his relative dominance or relative superiority, his absolute subordination. It's like if you're in a prison house and you're the top dog, you can look at it that I'm the king of the prisoners, or you can look at it I'm in the prison. You can look at it in that aspect. I'm not fortunate. I'm not powerful. I'm in the segment of society that has fallen. So it's easy to have that view as a Vaishnava. So he's deflecting praise because there is no ahankara, there's no false ego, there's no desire for superiority or conception of superiority. And this is one of the main reasons if he honestly looks at his life. So Krishna vadana bhoja sadarshana shukam chitat katachit karya yogena hinachit jayate charat. We enjoy the pleasure of seeing Sri Krishna's lotus feet only once in a while, when after a long time's absence, he visits it on some business. So Hanuman, deflecting the praise of Narada Muni, glorified the Pandavas because of their association with Krishna. And Narada repeats that. Look at your relationship with Krishna. But they say, kadachit, only once in a while. And why? Karyogena, because of some obligation to return to the war. Krishna did return to Hastinapur a few times after the Kurukshetra war, as when Yudhishthira invited him to tend the Ashvamedha Yajna. But these visits were far too short to allay the pain of separation the Pandavas suffered most of the time. So the more you value something, the more you feel pain when you're missing it. And what could be more valuable than that darshan, service, and relationship with God? That's the goal of the Krishna consciousness movement. That's what Lord Chaitanya is giving. That's what Prabhupada is giving. And that has to be our objective. And we get that objective from hearing the Bhagavatam, which describes Krishna and attracts us to wanting to be his servant and to experience that energy of love between us and God, of which somehow or other we've gotten a drop, and therefore we have faith in that goal somehow. And it's incredibly bhagyam. It's incredibly fortunate. If we look at not this temporary corporal existence, which we identify with as the self in terms of nationality, gender, ethnicity, and so many different things. And we're convinced that this is who we are. But if we are broad-minded and can look beyond this limited contextual identity, and then we study our history, time immemorial. It happens beyond time, but it's time immemorial. Brahmanda Brahmate, Konya Bhagavan, Jeev, Guru Krishna Pasadi Pai, Bhakti Lata Beach. I mentioned this verse many times, universe to universe, species of life to species of life, and different bodies, male, female, high class, low class, karmic situations, as God, by putting us in different experiences, is trying to purify us of our attachments, which are difficult to overcome. And why are they so difficult to overcome? Because we embrace the same material concepts that cause us suffering in life after life. We do the same thing again. That's why it's so difficult. It's so difficult. And that's why Prahlad Maharaj, when he preaches to his classmates, he says, Kumara Acharate Pragyo, because they're young kids. So he says, Kumara, even a young boy, Acharate Pragyo, his behavior is pragya, very intelligent. Dharman Bhagavataniha, if he worships God, Dulabam Manasan Janma, because this human form of life, Dulabam, difficult, Manasa Janma, the Janma, the birth of the human form of life is difficult, very rare. Dulabham is rare. Even within your body, there's unlimited microbes with equal souls to your own. And that's where they are in their sojourn. How many living entities? Billions of souls, even in every room. How many human beings? Dulabham. Prahlad Maharaj is imploring, the Bhagavatam's imploring us to actually understand. Tat ap yat dhruvam artadam. And even though it is adhruvam, even though human form of life is adhruvam, it's temporary. Like all these other forms of life, it's artadam. It contains great value. Why? Dharman, bhagavataniha. Because you can worship God. So what to speak of people who've actually, and therefore every evolutionary experience is frustrating the false ego and elevating the consciousness to a higher level. And what did it take for us to come to the human form of life? And what did it take to us to have the conception, atato, Brahma, jigyasa, atato, now. Now that you've come to the human form of life, Brahma jigyasa, to inquire about God. So the Bhagavatam is giving us this urgency as we fall into the slumber that the particular corporal existence we have is the reality. It tries to give us perspective. Purport, Krishna did return to Hastinapur a few times after the Kurukshetra war, as when Yudhishthira invited him to attend the Ashvamedha sacrifices. But these few visits were far too short to allay the pain of separation the Pandavas suffered most of the time. Krishna, all attractive. What is it like to smell, touch, see, hear, taste God? What is it like? And what is it like to lose that? Yadavan eva sad bandun varakayam ashau vasam sada parama sadbhagya vato ramiyati priyan. The Yadavis alone are his true friends, living always with them in Dwarka. He is always busy satisfying those dear and supremely fortunate friends. Narada might suggest to the Pandavas that Krishna will soon finish his business and return to them, because to Krishna they are dearer than anyone else. No, Yudhishthira replies, the Yadavas are even more dear. Krishna very much favors the Yadavas simply because they are the most exalted members of the Lord's own dynasty. Moreover, the Yadavas are endowed with the priceless treasure of pure love for Krishna. Therefore, Krishna goes out of his way to keep them always happy. Yudhishthira reasons that since the Yadavas are enjoying Krishna's company and the Pandavas are not, the Yadavas must be more favored. So if we remember the progression, it went from Prahlad, who was just remembering, to Hanuman, who is serving, to the Pandavas, who are intimately serving, to the Yadavis, who always had Krishna's association relative to the Pandavas. And therefore he's saying they must be the topmost recipients of Krishna's mercy. Asmasu yat tasya kadapi dautyam saratyamanyat shabhavadbir ikshyate tatburi bhara shabanaya papa nashena dharmasya rakshanaya. From time to time, you have observed him carrying messages, driving chariots, and doing other services for us. But he does these things only to absolve himself of his debt to us, destroy our sins, and protect our religious principles. Purport: in addition to acting as the Pandava's messenger, charioteer, and general servant, Krishna also offered them advice as a royal counselor and killed irreligious miscreants on their behalf. But in Yudhishthira's opinion, the impartial Supreme Lord never acted out of preference towards the Pandavas. In other words, it was his duty. Yeah. Love is expressed not just by an action, but by the consciousness in which it's done. And the intensity of love is not just by the actions of it, but the love behind it. Sri Parikshit continued, then Bhishma, the bosom friend of the Lord of the Yadavas, laughed loudly and said, "Please listen, my dear disciple of Sri Krishna." So Narma Suritama. Narma means the intimacy comes to the level of joking. Krishna is the original source of illusion, the guru of all clever deceivers. His acts are fathomless like an ocean. We have little faith in the many crafty things he says and does. Doesn't he have all sorts of motives? Maya means magic. It also means material nature, the source of illusion in the created world. Krishna is too unpredictable and deceptive to trust. Sometimes Krishna acts just for his personal enjoyment. Sometimes he manufactures illusions out of mere curiosity. And sometimes he uses his wit to intentionally bewilder his devotees. In any case, his motive is never simple affection. The games he plays are not real. Since Bhishma and his brothers are experienced men of the world, they're not going to put any trust in such behavior. Parikshit said, then, dear mother, my grandfather, Sriman Arjuna, the intimate friend of Krishna, dejectedly spoke, sighing again and again. Blessed Arjuna said, O godly Narada, the great mercy your beloved supposedly bestowed upon us has in fact become the cause of our sorrow. Swayed by dry speculation concerned only with their own dharma, Bhishma and others on the field of war fiercely attacked Lord Krishna, piercing his armor and flesh. Lord Krishna, the wielder of the Sudarshan Chakra, tolerated for my sake those repeated attacks on his divine body, although I tried to stop him. It seems I'm going brain dead here. It's It's 6:30 here, and I've been up since 12:30 with a nap. I thought the nap was long enough, but it's kind of catching up to me. So please excuse me if I end just a little bit earlier. It's just my brain somehow is not working so well, but I don't mind any reflections or any questions that people may have. That may be easier for me today. So, okay, anybody have any reflections on the class?
Hare Krishna,
Right.
Raj.
Yeah,
There are two reflections that I really loved that just was really struck me when you said that the Pandavas were suffering most of the time. That just really hit me. We don't really think about what they were with what they've gone through in their separation from Krishna. That really stuck home with me. And then what you also said about love is more than the action, it's the intention behind the action. That whole thing about we can't really tell one's actions from the outside, it's really intentions from within. So those things really struck me today.
yeah. One sadhu in Vrindavan, I was listening to his class, and he said the term for servant is sevak. I mentioned this before, but he said if you take away the seva, the mood of service, then it's just vak, and vak is bakasura. It's not very saintly.
Mm.
Yeah, service is the intention, but of course the actions can indicate the intentions. It's just not absolute. And therefore, when judging bhava, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, we just don't judge the actions. Like someone may be crying, he may be rolling on the floor, he may be fainting. Those are symptoms of love, but maybe they're not.
Mm.
So he says, rather, we should judge spiritual advancement by very tangible, practical things like avyarta kalitvam, every moment engaged in Krishna's service, viraktir, being indifferent to the sense objects, being humble, being attached to the holy name, being eager to visit the holy places. So he gives very practical things that do have a correlation with the internal. Okay, thank you, Jamunajaya. Anybody else? Any questions on any subject?
Hi, Krishna.
Okay, Gail.
Yeah, just on the same subject. I think I didn't hear half of your statement. You did say what Jamuna Jaya just said, that, it's not just the action, it's the intention behind it. But then in addition, you defined the intensity of that love, right? And how did you define the intensity of the love?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, because it kind of sounded the same to me, so I wasn't
No,
sure.
let me see if I can say it again. What I was trying to say is that the action doesn't necessarily represent the intention. And therefore, when judging bhava, Rupa Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, don't judge just the external, the actions, but that can be imitated, but it should be judged by things that can't be imitated, like avyakta kalitam. When one has bhava, he's engaged every moment in Krishna's service. Viraktir, he's indifferent to sense objects. So that's what I said.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll have to listen again because you did say something about how to recognize the intensity of.
I probably meant the intention.
Uh-huh.
I probably misspoke.
Okay, Maharaj, can you just check your WhatsApp today? Because I'm going to, or whenever you can, I'm going to forward you a message from Satyabhama Sahi's daughter, Krishna Priya. I think her sister passed away. And her mother said that she told me that she passed away last week. She told me exactly when she.
Yeah, they used to, even in Vrindavan, they used to visit me.
Yeah, so it might have something to do with the puja. Anyway, she wanted your name and address, and I didn't know what to actually. I'm not your name and address, your address and telephone.
Okay, give it to me because I was very close with that family.
Yeah, so I'll forward you via WhatsApp. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you.
Anybody else like to share a realization? We can keep the class going in this way.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much. This is Krishna-katha. I also was very impressed by the same thing about behavior and the love that that is behind, and also that real devotees, they deflect any praise because they don't have conception of superiority, so they don't have any false ego. And,
What desire? Either a conception for it or a desire for it. Their faith is in service, not superiority. That's material faith is superiority. Spiritual faith is service. Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Tota Gopinath here.
Okay, Tota, Haribo. Did I ever send you the date of my arrival?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll send it after.
Yep.
Okay.
Also,
Anybody
Maharaj.
else? Yeah. Yeah. Haribo?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I was going to say, I like what you said about Radha Charan in regards to association, where someone can just drown in a drop of association. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, he feels it sincerely.
Yeah, and it was great to see him there too.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank
Hare
you very
Krishna.
much. Yavat and
Thank you for the class.
Nice to see you. Great. I'm glad that you have that Sanga there in the island of Cuba. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's very good that I have others here, Maharaj. That's
Yeah,
you
have to have. Yeah, you both
Thank you
came.
for Yavat Sundari.
Yeah, you both came to India together. That was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. Unfortunately, this year we couldn't come, Maharaj. I feel great separation. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else say hello?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Oh, sorry.
Hey, Haribo. Okay, I saw.
Hare Krishna.
I see Amala and I see Raja and Lal.
Thanks for class.
We're going to have a great program there on the 24th. It's really...
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Davin wrote me that he's coming.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay. Haribo. Okay. Okay, one more person, then I will.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. It's Madhurya Radhika. Sorry, I was cutting in and out because I was on the subway before getting into work. But for what I got, it was a beautiful class. I'll go back and listen to the recording to the things that have cut out today.
Okay. Madhurya Radhika, what a beautiful name.
It is. Thank you, Maharaj. Haribo.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at everybody that's coming. Please excuse me. I was a little fatigued today. It's an interesting phenomena that your brain just shuts down and then you can't speak anymore. I try to get rest. I took full rest after lunch, but still was tired. Okay. Okay. We'll see you all soon. Panchakalpa Trubhyascha.